Hello, Tiger fans. Thanks for joining us for a new week of the Perry Thomas Show here on the Campbellsville University Sports Network. Matt Payton with you in the studio as we run through all things Fighting Tiger football with the head coach of the Tigers, Perry Thomas. And, Coach, you guys go on the road this past weekend, and winning cures all that ails you, so to speak, or so they say. 52-14, an impressive performance over a tough Union College squad.
Great win for us. Great win. We needed it bad, coming off of two tough losses to, high-ranked teams and, going to Union. And it was interesting because they were 0 for it for the season. We were 0 for, and you just don't know how your guys are going to approach it. I mean, it's easy for them to sit back because we're so accustomed to success and say, we can take it easy on these guys, and you just don't know how it's going to go. And I thought our guys came out and started well, and Union fought back. But then as it went on, we kind of took charge and was able to get a great win.
A lot to get to today, so let's jump right into the box score from that matchup, the win over Union, and we'll touch base with Coach on some of the numbers here. 52-14, the final score. You can see Talasufia with maybe his best day as a Tiger there, 15 of 25 from the field passing, 171 yards, 4 total touchdowns, 3 through the air, 1 on the ground. Kendon Young with 6 catches, totaled 161 yards, adding in his rushing total, 3 touchdowns for Kendon Young. Darius Moore finishes with 15 total tackles. That's the unofficial number. I think officially the Union stat team had him with 14 tackles. So we'll debate that, go back and forth. Either way, he tied or set a career high to Darius Moore. He had a good afternoon to really good evening to lead the defense as well.
Yeah, I thought it was a great game by those guys. Tyler didn't start the game, but as he got going, he got hot. And, what I really loved about the game offensively is we felt like the old Campbellsville. We was able to run the ball, throw the ball, play action, but also some pocket stuff. And I thought Kendon had a big coming out game for him, big breakthrough, and then Tyler got hot. And, we got some other guys involved in the offense too. And then, of course, Darius has the ability to dominate the field. He's I think he's in the top 4 in the country in tackles and maybe number 1 in tackles for losses. He just has that ability. As a linebacker, a great deal of experience, has played all 4 years, and, he's the he leads that inside core of that linebacker group.
Yeah, Darius was certainly a problem for the Bulldogs this past week. We'll see some of that as we take a look at the highlights here. Campbellsville got on the board first. Chase Wilson found Kendon Young to kind of start the scoring. They had a couple of big catches there on that drive, or a couple big connections, I should say, between Chase Wilson and Kendon Young. Here's the second, and I think, Coach, anytime you guys get a one-on-one with Kendon Young on the outside, you like those odds.
Yeah, we do, and we're going, we're going to take that, and sometimes there are checks called from the sideline, and we're going to take those shots. And I thought our kicking game did a pretty good job of covering the other night. Noah Bixler kicked the ball better than he's ever had here. I mean, he was kicking them almost to the end zone at high kicks, gave us chances to cover them.
Noah Bixler in the Tiger special team unit, Coach. I don't recall a time where I have seen a special teams kick return call for the fair catch. They would catch the ball in the 5 and wouldn't even attempt to return it. I don't remember a time where teams have just been so maybe beaten down in that area, but they weren't even trying. They were just going to take it to 25.
Which was smart from their end because he was kicking the ball high, and it gave us chances to get down there and cover. You can see right there a broken coverage, and it's really amazing. You look at the game, we played zone defense on 2 plays, and both of them led to touchdowns. So rest of the game, we went man coverage. I mean, that's another zone coverage right there. We just had busted plays, and of course 13 I think he's one of the better receivers in the country.
13, Earl Wells for the Union Bulldogs. And Coach mentioned a couple of busted plays. The Bulldogs took the lead there 14-6 after that second touchdown. And at that point, as a team that's 0-2, you can start to let some of those negative thoughts creep into your mind a bit with a Union team that has struggled. But really, your guys, they set the tone from that point forward and outscored Union, I think, 39-0 after the 14-6 score. So you guys really changed the game.
I don't think you'll ever see our guys quit. They're used to winning, and they understand that we could get down some, and just because we're 0-4 and we're down 7 or 8 points, that's not the time to quit. And they actually just picked up the tempo more and more and more and kept grinding on them. And we was able to punch it in and come up with some big, huge defensive stops, because in that second quarter, Union was still moving the ball some. Right there, we get our first turnover of the season. Garland Webb comes up with a big hit on the running back, and we're able to recover that.
Yeah, that was a big one for the Tigers. That was a drive that was inside the 20, the red zone there for Union. Campbellsville comes back, and you can see Talasafia showing off some of his running prowess. Later, you'll see a touchdown run for Talasafia. That one looked like maybe a designed run for Tala, but that big 6'3" frame, you can get him going north-south.
Well, and we're going to run Tala some. I mean, it puts pressures on defenses when you do that, and we feel like we have three capable quarterbacks with Tala, Chase, and Chris Lubinsky that can get us going, so we don't have to protect the quarterbacks quite as much as we have in the past. So we're going to run the ball some.
There's Noah Bixler. He matched a career high there with a 35-yard field goal to Noah Bixler. And Coach mentioned earlier he kicked the ball really well the other night. And here's David Richardson, Coach, again, kind of the same thing with Atala. This kid runs so hard, and you get him going north-south the right direction. It's just tough for one-on-one for anybody to bring him down.
Yeah, he's a big, strong, physical kid, athletic, mature kid. He and Booby, EJ, they give us a big punch back there, being able to run the football. And, some other guys came in running well, too. Saul Brady and Armani Zanders came in and ran the ball really well.
See Talasafia hit Kendon Young with a big touchdown strike there. And this was a point, I think, after a stop on downs right there, Coach. I called for it. I said, this may be the time to take a chance down the field. You go play action, hit Kendon Young, and that set up this Zach Cole touchdown. Zach Cole's touchdown-to-catch ratio is pretty good. Maybe we'll talk to G about getting him a few more balls. He's 2 for 2, well, 2 catches, 2 scores.
He's a kid that stays healthy and does things right, that he'll be All-American before he leaves here. He's the type of tough tight end that as a defense coordinator I hate, because you can flex him out and do so much with him. He's just not a big blocker or a dump guy. He can run routes and catch the ball with his hands. He's going to be put a lot of pressure on a lot of teams.
A matchup nightmare is Zach Cole. We saw a couple of those Darius Bohr tackles there. A quick step from Booby, Emmanuel Johnson setting up another Tiger score. I believe this here might be the Talasafia run. He just tucks it there. Nothing really opens up. And, again, 6'3", 220 plus. He just falls forward for the touchdown. Campbellsville continues to extend its lead. I think here's the final touchdown pass of the night from Tala. Hits Kendon Young going towards the sideline. A lot of separation there for Kendon on that grab as well.
Yeah, and I thought they would start, beginning to get worn down a little bit as the game went on, especially in that second half. We just, third quarter, we just came out and jumped on them. I'm not sure they had a first down for a long time. And right there, it's great to get Malik in there. Malik Richards a touchdown catch. And he's a pure receiver. You can see right there, he caught the ball with his hands, and it's great to get those guys involved. And the more guys we can get involved in the offense, the better off we're going to be, because now it's tough to just put people on Kendon, and it's tough to just focus on David in the backfield and that type of deal. So it was great to get the offense going. It felt like our old rhythm again, and it was fun to put up those points.
And then Darius Moore, his play led to a Mid-South Conference Player of the Week honor. Darius picking up the first award of the season. Won't be shocked if he doesn't get one more before it's all said and done. Maybe a couple more, but finishes matching a career high in tackles with 14. And then unofficially, I think 15 according to Kevin Burkhead. But who's counting at that point? He had a sack, 8.5 tackles for loss to make him #1 in the country. But a lot of other things happening around the Mid-South Conference this week as well, Coach. Let's take a look at some of the games from around the Bluegrass division in the Mid-South Conference from this past weekend. You can see there Cumberland University with a win over, that's actually Cumberland's, I believe, Kentucky. Coach. Cumberland's of Kentucky there with a win over Weber, 45-14.
That's a big score, because Weber is a really good football team, and we've watched them on film a few times. And Cumberland, Kentucky, we haven't seen them, but they must be pretty dang good.
Lindsey Wilson College goes on the road, the long road trip to Florida, 73-29 over Warner. Cumberland of Tennessee and St. Andrew in a close one, 24-22. Southeastern and Georgetown. That's a score that obviously pops off the screen at you based on what we've known Georgetown to be. Southeastern, the Tigers' upcoming opponent. Georgetown waits in just a week or so. And then Pikeville KCU in a shootout, 49-38. It's a KCU bunch that have been receiving votes. Pikeville goes in there and knocks them off as well.
Yeah, Pikeville's having a great year. I think they're ranked 25th this week maybe. And, KCU's having a really good year also. Cumberland, Tennessee's won, I think, 3 really tight games now. All of them been within like a touchdown or so. And then, of course, the Southeastern Georgetown game is just a phenomenal game by Southeastern. Georgetown's Georgetown. I mean, they're a tremendous program. Coach Cronin, their head coach, is getting inducted into the NAIA Hall of Fame. And Southeastern just came out and punched them in the mouth and took it to them.
And then quickly across the rest of the Mid-South Conference, a few more scores to pass along from next week before we step out to a break here. Faulkner knocks off Cincinnati Christian 28-7. Point in St. Thomas in a close one, 38-31. Kaiser and Reinhardt, maybe the score that you look at there. Kaiser upsets top 10 Reinhardt 14-12. Wisconsin Platteville over Thomas More 41-10, and then Ave Maria over Bluefield 30-13. But that Reinhardt bunch, one that they played some close games to this point. You've seen them already, and then there's Kaiser, an upstart program here for just a few years, gets a big win.
Yeah, and Kaiser, I think Kaiser were co-champions of the Sun last year, and may have won it outright at the end. It's a big win for them, their program. So, Mid-South's no joke. Every division is tough, and every team can play, and that's what we tell people all the time is there's no weak opponent in the league, and if you don't come ready to go, or if you just a little bit off your game, you could get embarrassed in this league.
Yeah, we'll step away and take a quick time out here. We'll be joined by offensive line coach Eugene Crosby. When we come back, we'll also welcome the coach back in a little later on in our show, get his thoughts on the upcoming road trip down to Southeastern. Stay with us here on the Perry Thomas Show.
Here at Saloma Baptist Church, our mission and ministry extends beyond our walls. We are focused on teaching all ages about the love of Jesus, preparing them for a life of mission. We are committed to serving the local community and the world in the name of Jesus Christ. For more information on service times and mission opportunities, please visit our website at salomabaptist.com. We extend a warm welcome to you and your family here at Saloma Baptist Church.
A champion doesn't get days off. It takes determination and drive to realize goals. From long nights to early mornings. From the courts to the classrooms to online. At Campbellsville University, this is why we play. This is how we learn. This is where champions are made. Find your calling for a life change at campbellsville.edu.
Citizens Bank and Trust Company serves the Taylor County area with 3 convenient locations. Our online and mobile options can make your banking experience even easier, with features such as digital wallet, Touch ID login with our mobile app, and online deposits. Mobile banking also gives you the online control of your Citizens Bank debit card. Along with our banking locations, we also offer a no-charge ATM in the Student Commons on the campus of Campbellsville University. Citizens Bank and Trust in Campbellsville. Member FDIC, Equal Housing.
Thanks for staying with us, Tiger fans. The Perry Thomas Show continues here on the Campbellsville University Sports Network. Matt Payton with you in the studios this week as we welcome in the offensive line coach, tight ends coach for Campbellsville University, Coach Eugene Crosby. Coach, thanks for taking a few moments. It's been a while, but
right?
Season's in full swing, and it's fun to be back out on the field.
Yeah, it's it's the time of year you really enjoy when we're out there. So
Campbellsville comes off the big win over Union College last week, and anytime you guys up front can help post 52 points, I know that makes you feel really good about where you're at, and helps you sleep a little better at night.
Yeah, it keeps keeps everybody happy around the building, and there's a lot less yelling down the hall, so that keeps life a little happier.
And you've had to work through some shuffling. Some guys have been in, out, eligibility, injuries, and different things. And I think maybe the biggest one to touch on first is you move Jordan Bass from a tight end spot down to a tackle spot. Ethan Gossage gets banged up. What went into that decision, and how do you decide that Jordan, this is our best chance, and we're going to slide you down?
Yeah, Jordan started out as an offensive lineman, and we moved him out there his freshman year, and he had a lot of really good success. He's a big blocker out there, and we kind of pulled him in, and we had that conversation where, this is where we need you to be. We need you to be a team guy, and Jordan didn't hesitate. He jumped at it because, at the end of the day, we're all about team success. And he came out and he had a really good game, and Ethan's going to be banged up for a couple more weeks, so we'll kind of see how it goes. And we brought in a freshman tight end, Zach Cole, who when we recruited him, we thought he was going to be a pretty darn good player. And then, as he's come along, he's blossomed into a really good, two-way blocking, receiving threat at tight end. So it was like, well, let's give the kid a shot, and then we need to put Jordan in there. And, it kind of came out pretty well with, all the yards and touchdowns and stuff.
Yeah, certainly played well this past Saturday against Union. And you've got some elder statesmen of that group, two guys that have been around Campbellsville for a long time, Trey Bender and also Dante Hollis, who comes back after missing a year. What's it been like the last few years to be around those guys day in and day out?
Man, they make my job a lot easier because they've been doing it a long time with us. They understand our system. They understand the teaching, so they take a lot of the younger guys under their wing and teach them the techniques from the player's perspective, not so much the coach's perspective, which helps with a lot of the transition for our younger guys. And I couldn't ask for two better young men to work with. They are quality people in this world, and they are really good football players, both of them former All-Americans. And boy, if I could figure out another year to keep them around, I would.
certainly look into that. Then some other guys on that offensive line, some names that we've called: Zach Bryson, Carlos Reyes is carved out much more of a role. Charlie Spencer's a name that Tiger fans heard a year ago now in his sophomore season. Talk me through some of those pieces really on that interior of the offensive line.
Zach Bryson's a kid that has really waited his turn. He's in his fourth year, last year in the program, and he's really kind of stepped up. He's worked his way up, and now his opportunities come along, and he's kind of, he's taken a hold of it. Carlos is a junior college kid we brought in from California, and he, it took him a little time to figure out, the who, what, where, and the how, and, but he's now starting to come along and take hold of the position. And, Charlie is such a, I talked to Charlie a lot about, I need you to be kind of a spot guy here and there. And Charlie has embraced every role we've given him and given us a full effort. And, it's culminated in, a 500-yard effort. And, we're starting to really come together as a group and start to hit our stride.
A spot guy that's not really content with being a spot guy, that's what you want. You want a guy that's eager to get out there and help anywhere.
Well, I mean, he's when his number's been called, he's stepped up and he's come in and he's gotten after it, and that's all we can ask for our young men to do when we bring them in. And
you've got some other guys on this team that are going to make name for themselves over the next few years. You mentioned Ethan Gossage banged up, but anytime you get a true freshman to step in and he's able to handle one of those tackle positions right out of the gate, that says a lot. Lane Bottom's a local kid that Tiger fans expect to see a lot from. Jansen Craig, there are others. We could go on and on. But you've also got some pieces for the future as well in the fold already.
Your goal is to always have some kids in the background that are, you can ask them to step up, and we just kind of throw them into the fire around here sometimes. Ethan Gossage was a kid I recruited. He's out of Knoxville, Tennessee, general area there, and he was one that he's big as a house, and he tries his butt off. And when I recruited him, I thought, man, if he picks it up quick, he could work his way into the group, and he surpassed all expectations, and he's going to be a fixture in the program for a good number of years.
And then let's look at this matchup with Southeastern this weekend, Coach. A long trip, that's no secret, down to Lakeland, Florida. What does the Tiger offense have to do to score points and come out of there with a win over the Fire?
I think the biggest thing for us up front is just to come off the ball and do what we do here at Campbellsville. We're physical. I personally feel we're the most physical team, in the Mid-South. I don't feel that anybody really kind of wants to line up across from us because at the end of the day, we're going to take you, we're going to take you as far as we can, and we're going to fight you tooth and nail to get where we want to go. And to win this ball game, we just have to go out and execute. I mean, that's the biggest thing. Go out there, do what you're assigned to do, and take care of your business.
Coach, safe travels. Good luck.
Thank you, sir.
Thanks for joining us. Eugene Crosby, offensive line tight ends coach here at Campbellsville University. We'll step away, come back, and visit with the head coach, Perry Thomas. We'll look around the Mid-South Conference this coming week. Also talk to him about this matchup with the Fire. Stay here on the Perry Thomas Show.
Central Kentucky's newest music venue is right around the corner. Located in Summersville, Kentucky, Green River Live is bringing you the artists you love in their new 1,000-seat venue. Shows every Saturday night featuring the Heart of Kentucky band, Green River Live's very own house band, made up of current and former touring musicians. Drop by the GRL Grill or our indoor concession area and pick up your very own Green River Live merchandise. Green River Live on the web at greenriverlive.com.
Campbellsville University Cosmetology teaches beauty inside and out. The cosmetology students at CU receive salon experience while learning in a contemporary environment from faculty who have worked in the industry. With areas of study ranging from hairstyling to salon management, Campbellsville University Cosmetology can help you turn your passion into a profession. Kickstart your cosmetology career today. Visit campbellsville.edu/cosmetology.
Hi, I'm Dr. Dwayne Norman, Senior Pastor of Campbellsville Baptist Church. You are invited to experience a caring community where the Word of God is taught and Christ is honored. We invest in the future of our children and youth by providing environments where they are loved, discipled, and taught the Bible, as well as our college ministry, which partners with students and faculty at Campbellsville University. Sunday school begins at 9:15, worship at 10:30. Come join us.
Welcome back, Tiger fans. The Perry Thomas Show continues here on the Campbellsville University Sports Network. Matt Payton with you as we visit with the head coach, Perry Thomas. He joins us once again as Campbellsville gets set for its longest road trip of the season. Coach, this was a trip that was supposed to take place a few weeks ago. Hurricane Dorian played tricks with the schedule, so to speak, and you had to bump that back. But I know we saw a few years ago the game with Warner was canceled. At least you're able to get this one in, whereas a few years ago that left you a game short.
Yeah, it left us a game short, and we wound up making up the Ave Maria game late in the season. So it's great that we can get it in, we can play. We got the long trip and so forth and deal with the heat and all that stuff, but at the same time we get the opportunity to play. And, we're playing one of the top teams in the country, and we've played two top teams and we haven't fared well. So we have another opportunity to play a top team, and if we can get a win there, that could do so much for us as the season moves forward.
And for all you Tiger fans, remember Lindsey Wilson and Cumberland's projected to win the Bluegrass, Reinhardt the Appalachian, Southeastern the Sun. So
right.
You see all four of those teams throughout the year, two of them already in the books. That trip with Southeastern, and I know you had a big emphasis, I think, has been kind of changing the travel schedule last time down to Weber. You just got run into so many things. Everything that could go wrong almost did go wrong on that trip, and I know you kind of felt like maybe your guys weren't able to put their best foot forward due to it, so you're going to leave a little earlier this time.
Yeah, we're going to travel this game like we did at the Ave Maria game. Ave Maria's down in the Naples area. So it's about 4 or 5 hours longer trip, and we actually left early on a Thursday, spent the night on Thursday night, and then finished up on a Friday. When we go to Weber, traditionally we have left, late Thursday night or in the, 2 in the morning, something like that, and kind of drove through the night. And then, last year we got stuck in 6 hours of accident traffic, something you can't avoid. And we got in so late, missed meals and everything. I just felt like our legs were gone. If you watch that game, we were lethargic and in slow motion. So we're going to travel, from now on, we go to Florida just like we do when we go to Ave Maria or something down south. We're going to leave early Thursday. We have an early morning practice, leave out about 10 or so, and drive and spend the night about halfway down there, and then get up Friday and finish the trip. And I think that's going to save our legs. We actually have a late checkout on Saturday because we play at 7 at night on Saturday night, which typically you're going to play those Florida games early. But, they play at night, and we actually wanted to play at night just because of the heat factor.
The heat, and then also that gives you a little more time to recover those legs off the couple of days on a bus, so hopefully those things go into the Tigers' favor as well. It's a Southeastern team, Coach, that has their sights set on a Sun Conference championship. Walk me through this matchup with the Fire, and what do the Tigers need to do to be victorious?
Well, they're a tremendous football team. If you watch them against Georgetown, you think they're the best football team to ever line up and play football, really. I mean, they look that good against Georgetown. And Georgetown, we all know Georgetown and what they're all about and what they have every year in and year out. So very athletic team, offensively and defensively in the kick game, athletes everywhere, big fronts, offensive line averages 298. And I think they average like 6'2", 6'3". Defensive line's very big also. Linebackers big and athletic. Tailback that I think he went for like 190 against Georgetown. Offensively they had over 600 yards against Georgetown. So very explosive football team. If you watch them against Point, they look like a regular football team, just a good team. Then a week later against Georgetown, they look like the greatest team to ever play. So we're hoping that they're just an average team, but we know that they're going to be very athletic, and we have to execute. the thing that we didn't do against Lindsay and against Reinhardt, the two really good teams we played, is we didn't execute well in any phase. And we gave ourselves some chances defensively because we was able to make some plays, but still wasn't enough. We gave up a couple of big plays in both games and didn't get any takeaways. So we have to execute to have a chance against this team. And when you go on the road in hostile territory, you know it's going to be intense, especially down in Florida. Those guys are going to be fired up. They're going to have a huge crowd. They got a campus stadium like we do, so it's going to be a huge crowd. And we just got to, match that intensity and then execute. We can't lose our head. Just go out and execute and make things happen.
A relatively young program in Southeastern, 25-4, I think, at home since they started that program back in 2014. So definitely a tall task for the Tigers to go in there and get a win this weekend. Let's take a look around the rest of the Mid-South Conference, some of the contests that will take place as well. You're going through the schedule here. Thomas More and Cincinnati Christian, pretty close in proximity, those two schools there. Not a lot of travel time, both Northern Kentucky or Cincinnati area. St. Andrews will visit Georgetown, Bethel, and Point. Kaiser and Cumberland of Tennessee. That's a very interesting matchup after that Reinhardt win by Kaiser. Union and Cumberland's in the battle for the Brass Lantern. And then taking a look at some of the other games around the Mid-South this coming weekend. Coach, you've got all these divisions, all these teams. It gets kind of hard to keep up with, but Warner will make the travel north now to Kentucky Christian. Ave Maria will take on Jacksonville State, I believe, there. And then you've got Bluefield in action, Reinhardt and Kennesaw State, and then, of course, Campbellsville Southeastern at 7 o'clock. So a lot to kind of digest there, but any of those games, one or two maybe that jump out to you?
Well, I think the Union Cumberland's game is always interesting because it's such a huge rivalry, and anything goes in that game. Kaiser Cumberland Tennessee game is huge. Cumberland, I guess that's Cumberland University game is big. After Kaiser coming off of that big win, Cumberland now in the top 25, and they're rolling, doing things really well. So it'll be interesting to see, how they match up with another team that's right there in the same ranking area. So there's some big games along that, and I think this is probably the last weekend you'll see so many crossover games. After this, everyone kind of gets totally into their divisional play. Yeah,
it should be mostly divisional play from here on out. So it's kind of, I know in the past you've kind of called it that preseason schedule, so to speak, before you get into those really important divisional games. Coach, best of luck this weekend. Safe travels on the trip.
Sir.
We'll see you down in the Sunshine State. Campbellsville and Southeastern, Saturday night, 7 o'clock the start time. You can catch the game on 88.7 The Tiger. Jim Freeman and myself will be along. The Tiger Tailgate Show begins at 6:30. A special thanks to offensive line coach Crosby, Eugene Crosby, for joining us, as well as the head coach, Perry Thomas. We'll see you next time here on The Perry Thomas Show.
A champion doesn't get days off. It takes determination and drive to realize goals. From long nights to early mornings. From the courts to the classrooms to online. At Campbellsville University, this is why we play. This is how we learn. This is where champions are made. Find your calling for a life change at campbellsville.edu.
Here at Saloma Baptist Church, our mission and ministry extends beyond our walls. We are focused on teaching all ages about the love of Jesus, preparing them for a life of mission. We are committed to serving the local community and the world in the name of Jesus Christ. For more information on service times and mission opportunities, please visit our website at salomabaptist.com. We extend a warm welcome to you and your family here at Saloma Baptist Church.
I'm Dr. Dwayne Norman, Senior Pastor of Campbellsville Baptist Church. You are invited to experience a caring community where the Word of God is taught and Christ is honored. We invest in the future of our children and youth by providing environments where they are loved, discipled, and taught the Bible, as well as our college ministry, which partners with students and faculty at Campbellsville University. Sunday school begins at 9:15, worship at 10:30. Come join us.